and you see iconic images of them, and they are old men with grey hair and wrinkled smiles, but they were our age. They were like us when they took their bold steps, when they did the important things that they did. The impulse that drives young people to innovate is the result of the freedom that we have. We don't have a mortgage or a spouse or children to be responsible for. We are energetic. We can stay up through the night. We have no funds, so we have to improvise and create our own resources. We have imagination. We're not weighed down by prejudice and by the knowledge of what isn't possible. And we're arrogant. We know we can do better. So we have no vested interest in maintaining the status quo and a great deal to profit from changing it. So the predominance of young people in new media is just an extension of this. The average age of the founders of Microsoft, Google and Yahoo was 24. Facebook was founded by 20-year-old university students. Its first catchment was university students, and now its average age of user is 26. Twitter was created by a 29-year-old. So the new generation of young people have made the media their own. They've taken existing platforms and technology and adapted them for their own use and to warp communication methods and modes. We can now communicate easily with the whole world, or at least those online who are looking. So demographically, the average social networker is under the age of 30, and they've proved the worth of social networking as an instrument of real social and political change. So by way of example, Twitter limits its entries to 140 characters, and people derided it and dismissed it and said, well, what can you say in 140 characters? Until somebody said, it's been 2 days now, and my brother hasn't come home from the protest and no one has seen him. Please God, watch over him. It turns out that court injunctions can be overturned on the strength of online interest, as it was with a toxic waste-spilling ship called Trafigura in the UK this year. It turns out that protests can be organised in Moldova and at the G8 and the G20 summits. Online activity translates into real action in the real world. So the revolution isn't going to be televised, it will be tweeted. So you talk of empowering young people as though power is something that you can give to us, and it will be used gratefully and sparingly. But the power of young people to change the world is something that's been taken. The inventors of Microsoft weren't given permission to start a company in their garage. The inventors of Skype were in their 20s when they sought investment, but not permission. And Mark Zuckerberg had to hack into Harvard's computer systems in order to launch Facebook. So the founders of the internet and of the dominant corporations of Microsoft and Google and Yahoo and Apple are fading into middle age, and a new generation of innovators are replacing them. So it's the teenagers and the 20-somethings now who are at the cutting edge of innovation and way ahead of the curve. So the persistence of success of young people to hijack and exploit technology and to create it is to proves the point that they don't need the help to become empowered. They've done so on their own. You call young people digital natives. It's our world, it's our universe, and we were born into it. You're still defining terms, and we're playing. So it's inevitable that young people make the most progress and the fastest progress in utilising and mutating media platforms to suit our purposes. And although it's important that young people are made aware of the risks surrounding minors in the media, such as identity theft and criminal activity and inappropriate behaviour, there are important issues which are being addressed for children by your generation while we're just getting on with it. And it's going to be really interesting to see if you manage to enable young people to use the media in an advanced way from our generation and from teenagers now, to see how far they'll go and what they'll come up with, what more mutations and adaptations and evolutions can take place. But young people are not passive victims of the media. In the coming years, new challenges will present themselves, inevitably, such as paid-for information online, the crisis of identity, and an almost inevitable two-tier system of knowledge and ability. But young people don't live with challenges like this. They don't let it settle. They find a way to overcome them. So it's just what we do.